6 tips to put on muscle as a hard gainer, especially if you're a vegan or vegetarian like me. I've been vegan for 4 years now, and these 6 tips, I'm going to talk about what you can do to put on muscle. If you're a hard gainer and you're struggling to put on muscle, if you're not seeing any progress no matter how much you eat and you just don't know what to do, I got you covered. I've been vegan for 4 years now, and these 6 tips that I'm going to talk about, they apply to you whether you're vegan, whether you're vegetarian, whether you're a meat eater. It doesn't really matter. I didn't always have muscle. I wasn't born with muscle. I was skinny. And it took a while for me to learn the things that you need to do to put on muscle. And I've learned a lot over the years. It's been 10 years since I've started training, since I first joined the gym. And I'm going to give you guys 6 tips on how you can sort of progress and actually put on quality muscle. Number 1, you need to make sure you're following a consistent weight training routine. And as simple as this sounds, a lot of people aren't. A simple, consistent weight training routine. And when I say routine, it doesn't really matter what kind of routine you follow. You could do a push-pull leg split, you could do a full body split, you could do a bro split, which is, training 1 or 2 muscles per session. You could do upper lower split. The main important thing in this tip is being consistent and getting in those workouts every single week without failure. Be consistent. More than a training routine, more than what you choose to do, what's going to be more important is consistency. Putting your body through the stress consistently over time. And what do I recommend? If you want to put on muscle, if you want to put on mass, I would recommend either a push-pull leg split where you're training 6 times a week, push-pull legs, and 1 rest day. I would recommend a upper-lower split. I would recommend a full body split. I recommend these things because you're training each muscle twice a week, at least twice a week minimum. And as a natural, the more volume you give your body, the more times you hit every single muscle in a week, the more progress you're going to see, especially when you want to put on mass, especially when you want to put your body under stress. And the more stress you put it under, the more you're going to grow. And I don't mean overtraining. You want to keep it controlled. You want the volume to remain sensible. But at the same time, you want to push yourself as much as you can. I do have training programs, which will be in the description box down below, which I followed. I followed similar plans to that. That's what I followed to get shredded. But if you can find another plan, find a plan. But what I recommend is finding one particular plan and following that to the T. When you're first getting started, or if you're a hard gainer and you're a beginner and you can't really see progress, don't make any changes to a program. Don't feel like you have to add exercises if you feel like you're not hitting everything enough. Find a plan, follow that to the T, give it your everything, and then give it about a few months, and then have a look at your progress. If you follow a plan for a few weeks, you don't see any progress, no, that's not going to do anything. You're not going to see any progress in a few weeks unless you're first starting to join the gym. You need to give it some time. You need to give it a few months at least. I don't like changing my workout programs much at all. I honestly don't. I like doing the same workout routine, the same workout plan for 6, 8, even a year. I followed the same push-pull leg split for a year. So don't change your program. Stick to one program. Be consistent. Consistency beats everything else when it comes to weight training. So make sure that you're being consistent. That's your number 1 tip. Find a workout program and be consistent. Number 2, and this is one of the most important tips, apart from weight training, is your diet. You have to track your calories, especially if you're a hard gainer. If you feel like no matter what you're doing, you're not putting on weight, track your calories. I hear people all the time come up to me, be like, oh, I eat 4,000, 5,000 calories every single day, and I'm not seeing any progress. And then I ask them, are you tracking your calories? How do you know you're eating that much? They're not. They're taking a guess. They feel like they're eating that much food every single day. And it's usually because they're eating junk. They're eating fast food, Macca's, Hungry Jack's, KFC. And they feel like they're getting in calories, and they use that as an excuse They use eating junk as an excuse to, get in calories. No, you have to track your calories. Learn how to weigh your food, learn how to use MyFitnessPal, and learn how to track your calories. If you want to know how many calories you need to actually put on muscle, to bulk, I have a guide on just how to do that, which will also be in the description box down below. It is a method. It has a guide on how to calculate your calories, whether you want to get shredded, whether you want to put on muscle. Follow that. Find out your calories, find out your macros, and try to aim for those calories. But you have to learn how to track your calories. You have to learn how to track your food, especially when you feel like no matter what you're eating, you're not putting on any weight or seeing any difference. Because think about it. If you're eating a particular kind of way and you're not seeing any progress, how do you know what to change? How do you know if you're making any progress or not? So your food has to be the variable. You have to know, you have to have a basic idea of how many calories you're eating in a day. And of course, it's not going to be accurate, but it's going to be close. You're going to have a rough idea of how many calories you're eating every single day. And once you have that, you can make changes based on how you're looking or how you're progressing. If you're not progressing, increase those calories. If you feel like you're putting on too much weight, decrease those calories. Ever since I started tracking my food, ever since I started counting calories, it's made it so much easier for me. If I want to have a cheat meal, I can still fit it in, my calories. And I know exactly how much I'm eating, so I know what to change if I'm plateauing, if I'm not doing any progress. So tracking your food. That leads me on to tip number 3, which sort of ties in with tip number 2. If you're still tracking your calories, if you're doing everything right and you're still not seeing any progress, if you're eating so much food and you're not seeing any progress, you're not putting on any muscle, that's when it's time to be smart about this. Picking foods that are high in calories, dense in calories. These are foods like nuts, seeds, fatty foods. Adding more fats in your diet will help you hit your calories. And something as simple as peanut butter can add so many calories. So if you're tracking your calories, if you're following everything else to the T, but you're not seeing any progress, and you have to increase your calories, but you're feeling really full. You feel like you're eating to your limit and you can't eat any more food. That's when you sort of have to think about adding in fatty foods, tricking your brain into eating more food when you feel like you're full. Something like nuts, almonds, handful of almonds is so many calories. Instead of 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, using 2 tablespoons of peanut butter adds in so many calories. And even to the extreme, if you feel like you're doing everything else, you're still really full, adding in maybe 1-2 tablespoons of MCT oil, which is coconut oil, adds in dense calories. This is only if you're doing everything else and you're not seeing any progress, you can't get in calories, you can't eat more food, then you have to sort of add these tips, add fats, add nuts, seeds into your diet. And my favorite way of doing that is by making smoothies. You can add in 2-3 tablespoons of peanut butter. You can add in seeds and things like sunflower seeds, kernel seeds, all these different types of seeds. You can add in MCT oil. These things will boost your calories. So if you feel like no matter how much you're eating, you're not putting on any mass, it's time to eat something different. It's time to add in high calorically dense foods, which are your fats mainly. Protein and carbs, they have 4 calories per gram, but fats have 9 calories per gram, so you're going to get in more calories per gram. So that's a little hack that you can do to get in more calories. Tip number 4, and this might seem counterintuitive to everything that I've said, especially if you want to put on mass, but cardio. Don't stop doing cardio. And when I say cardio, I mean being active. The only cardio that I preach, the only cardio that I really do, apart from dancing, dancing is sort of like cardio, but apart from that, the only cardio that I do is getting in steps. I have this step counter. This is the Fitbit that I use. I'll have it linked down in the description box down below. But I just aim to hit 10,000 steps minimum every single day. Just because you want to put on weight, just because you want to put on muscle, shouldn't mean you should stop doing cardio, as in stop going for walks, stopping doing any kind of sports, stopping being physical. Being physical is an important part of life. You need some kind of fitness, some kind of cardiovascular activity in your life. Even if you're bulking, if you're shredding, it's just better for your health. And the biggest mistake that I see a lot of people do is completely stop doing cardio. Stopping doing all kinds of cardio. No. You need to get your body moving. You need to get your heart moving. And how is this going to help with, putting on muscle? It is. Everything sort of ties in with each other. The healthier you are, the better your testosterone levels are going to be, the better the chemicals are going to be balanced in your body, and the more your body is going to be ready to really take on that added stress when you're lifting weights. So you need to do cardio. You need to be active. Get 10,000 steps a day. You need to focus on that. You need to focus on cardio. Don't stop doing cardio. And I know 10,000 steps may seem like a lot, but if you're someone that walks around, you don't need to go for an extra walk to get in 10,000 steps. Even if you're working, just going for short walks, walking to the train station, walking here, just walking around throughout your day, you can easily get around 8 to 10,000 steps. And let's say if you're short of 10,000 by a few thousand steps, that's fine. Even going for a short walk at night, it really adds up. So cardio is a big thing, especially when you want to put on muscle. You need to make sure your body's primed. Your body's health is more important. And the healthier your body is, the healthier your heart is, your cardiovascular system, you're going to progress. You need to make sure you have your priorities in order, and cardiovascular health is up there. So make sure that you're not stopping cardio, you're still continuing to do cardio. Tip number 5 is sleep. Now, I've spoken a lot about sleep before, and sleep is honestly one of the most important things when it comes to fitness, when it comes to building muscle, when it comes to getting shredded. Sleep is everything. If you're doing every single thing that I just spoke about right, but you're not focusing on sleep, then everything else is a waste of time. Sleep is when your body recovers. You need to focus on sleep. It manages your stress levels, your cortisol levels, how you're feeling, your mood when you wake up, your energy levels. Everything comes down to sleep. So make sure you're sleeping at least 7 hours every single night. And reality is, you need to stick to the same sleeping pattern, same sleeping routine for as much as you can. And of course, you're going to have nights where you're going out, you stay out late, that's fine. Keep that time aside. You're going to have those nights. But as much as you can, Monday to Friday, Monday to Saturday, or even Monday, 6 days a week, you follow a strict sleeping pattern where you make sure you're sleeping 7 hours a night. Ideally, you want to sleep at the same time, you want to wake up at the same time. This is just genuinely good for your health. Maintain healthy dopamine levels, healthy stress levels, healthy cortisol levels. It makes everything so much better. And it comes down to the last tip as well. You need to make sure that your body's health is in the right place. So sleep, especially for building muscle, because you build muscle when you rest, and when you're sleeping, you're resting. Sleep is so important in this journey. Whether you're shredding, whether you're bulking, it doesn't matter. Sleep is everything. Sleep is so important. So find ways of trying to get better quality sleep. And this Fitbit tracks sleep as well. So I can look at my sleep, I can see how good the quality of the sleep is, and I can make changes based on that. So make sure you have some tracker, something that tracks your sleep. This is what I use. It can be anything. Like I said, this will be in the description box down below. You can check it out. It's not that expensive. It's pretty cheap, and I've had it for years now, and it's helped me so much in my progress. So sleep, don't skimp out on sleep. Sleep is everything. You want to make sure you get at least 7 hours, nothing less than 7 hours of sleep. And trust me, you're going to see such a big progress, such big improvements in your quality of life once you get your sleeping in order. Sleep is everything. If you train in the mornings, and let's say you get to bed at really late at night one night and you have to wake up at 4 in the morning, don't wake up at 4 in the morning to train. Sleep is more important than waking up to train. You can fit in that training session sometime throughout the week, but you can't fit in those extra hours of sleep. That's going to make a big impact on how you feel that day. So make sure you prioritize sleep more than training. This might be controversial, but I stand by this. Sleep is more important than training. Obviously, I'm not saying if you just sleep and not train, you're going to progress. No, training is important, sleep is important, but when you have to pick between the two, pick sleep. Pick 7 hours of sleep. So sleep is really important, especially when you want to change your body, you want to change the composition of your body, you want to put on muscle. Sleep is essential. Now my last and final tip number 6, is supplementation. And when I say supplementation, I'm not talking about, your multivitamins. I'm not talking about your protein powders, your pre-workouts. I mean, obviously those things help, but I'm not going to talk about all of that. I'm going to talk about one supplement in particular, and that's creatine. Creatine is the only supplement that works. It's the most studied supplement out there. So creatine, make sure you're getting in 5 milligrams of creatine 5 grams, 5 grams of creatine every single day, which is around 1 teaspoon of creatine. Creatine, I've seen so much progress just on creatine once I started getting on creatine. And it doesn't matter what kind of creatine you go for. I have the one that I use in the description box, but just go to your store. Get the cheapest one you can find. The cheapest creatine, it's all the same. Creatine monohydrate. You're going to find ones with 3 gram servings. You're going to find one at 5 gram serving. But make sure you get, regardless of which one you take, it doesn't matter. It's just the serving size. Make sure you use 5 grams every single day. Every single day. And I have people ask me, what happens if I miss a day of taking creatine? It's not going to do anything. 1 day of no creatine isn't going to make or destroy your gains, but you're going to be better off if you don't miss out on that day. So I try to make sure I get in creatine every single day. It's cheap. It's easy. Just put it in my smoothie. I'll put it in my smoothie. It doesn't matter when you take it. I like taking it in my morning smoothie, but it doesn't matter when you take it. You can take it with your pre-workout. You can take it at night. You can take it whenever you want. But creatine, if you want to take one supplement, if you can only choose one supplement to take, it's creatine. Of course, you have other supplements like pre-workout, protein powders, ashwagandha, your multivitamins, all that good stuff. Those things help. But when it comes to performance enhancement, I'm talking purely to build muscle, purely to look different, purely to change how your body looks. Creatine is a game changer. So get on creatine if you're not already. You can check out the one that I use in the description box, or you can go to your local grocery store and just get the cheapest one, because it's all the same. Don't let any kind of marketing, branding, whatever people tell you, that like this one's different, this one's different. It's really not different. It's all the same. Get the cheapest one you can find. Take 5 grams, which is a teaspoon, with water, mix with water, drink it every single day, and you'll see the benefits of creatine. I mean, you won't, because you'll get so used to it, but if you don't come off of creatine, you don't have to cycle off or on creatine, but you'll see the progress once you're on creatine. I definitely have, and I'm sure if you ask anyone else who's been lifting for a few years now, if they've seen progress in creatine, of course. It is the most researched bodybuilding supplement there is. So get on creatine, and there's a lot of marketing out there that says you need this supplement, you have to have this supplement to build muscle. You don't. Supplements really don't do anything. And I'm talking purely supplements like BCAAs or like fit supplements that revolve around building muscle. I'm not talking about multivitamins or pre-workouts or protein powders. Those things, they help. But other bodybuilding supplements, they really don't help. You don't need it. All you need is food. You don't even need protein powder. You don't even need pre-workout. You don't need pre-workout. I mean, it helps, but you don't need it. You could just choose to have coffee before training. You know, instead of protein powder, you could just choose to eat real food. But creatine, your body naturally produces creatine, but it doesn't make as much as you need to really see its benefits. So get on creatine and you'll see progress. I hope these 6 tips helped you guys. If you have any questions, you can let me know. You can message me on Instagram, which will be on screen right now, or you can comment down below, whatever. But follow these 6 tips, especially if you're a hard gainer. And trust me, it took me a long time to learn these things. And I wish I had someone tell me these things beforehand when I was getting started into fitness. And that's why I make these videos. I make these videos like I'm making them for my younger self. I've learned so much over the years, and I wish I could go back in time and tell myself, but I can't. But what I can do is tell you guys, so you guys don't make the same mistakes that I did. So take what you want from this. You should follow these 6 tips if you're a hard gainer and you're not seeing any progress, because I've seen massive progress. And yeah, if you like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, comment any questions you have, and share this with your friends who you feel are hard gainers. And like I said at the start, vegan, vegetarian, it doesn't really matter. Even if you eat meat, these 6 tips still apply. I've been vegan for 4 years now, and the same rules still apply. It doesn't matter where you get your protein from, as long as you're getting in your 9 essential amino acids, you're getting in all your forms of protein, eating from a wide variety of sources. That's all that matters. I'll see you guys in the next one.